7.
Well, thanks so much for joining us here tonight. We're broadcasting live on Fox 9 Plus and streaming everywhere in the Fox local app. I'm Tim Blotz. Our top story here at 7 tonight, we have a man who's originally from St. Peter, is now accused in the double murder of 2 Arizona teenagers. 31-year-old Thomas Brown is in custody in Maricopa County for the May killings on Mount Ord.
Next at 9, the governors of Minnesota and Illinois take a joint stance against the Trump administration's ICE crackdown.
Our job is not to do immigration enforcement.
Plus, Minnesotans at risk of losing health care subsidies as the government shutdown drags on.
This gets at the very heart of, I think, a philosophical or political dispute between the Democrats and Republicans.
Then more than 100 school board members support blocking transgender athletes from competing in girls' sports to keep the federal funding.
This has been sort of a hot button issue for districts for a while.
And newfound hope for a baby born with a rare spinal condition.
Potentially, it could give her a normal life like every other kid.
How the public can help.
This is Fox 9 News at 9.
Can we all just acknowledge that none of this is normal?
We've had a lot of brutality. Maybe some of you have seen it, but we're taking them to court wherever we can.
Well, developing tonight, federal troops are already in the Chicago area and more are on the way. That's according to the Illinois governor, who says the Trump administration did not give him a heads up.
Now, he joined Governor Walz in an event in Minneapolis this afternoon where they pushed back against President Trump's decision to send troops to U.S. cities. Now, our Mike Manzoni joins us from the Live Center tonight. And Mike, Governor Walz says that he's actually preparing for troops to come to Minnesota, right?
Tim McKelsey, he says his administration started preparing for that possibility even before President Trump was sworn into office for a second term earlier this year. It's unclear why troops are in the Chicago area tonight, but federal authorities have stepped up immigration enforcement in that city in recent weeks. They've also clashed with protesters there. Over the weekend, federal agents shot a woman after they say she and others tried to use their cars to box them in. Governor Walz explained why he thinks it is possible that the president will send troops to Minnesota at some point.
I think it makes it would be logical for them to come here. We fall into exactly what it looks like they're trying to target, blue cities in places that he wants to make an impact. You can certainly chill voting in states like Minnesota if you target Minneapolis and St. Paul.
There was also a discussion at that forum earlier this afternoon that about the president targeting perceived political enemies. Both say they believe that President Trump could have them arrested.
Do you both believe that you could sincerely be arrested?
Yes.
I'm asking any of you to come visit me in the gulag in El Salvador.
Yes, I think in all seriousness, yes. You saw the thing with James Comey.
It sounds like, yeah.
And he was referring to the former FBI director who now faces federal charges after prosecutors say he lied under oath to Congress. Meanwhile, Illinois is suing the Trump administration to stop it from sending troops there. In the Live Center tonight, Mike Manzoni, Fox 9.
All right, Mike. Well, let's head outside right now because we're going to give you a live look at the Twin Cities where some big changes are coming overnight. Our chief meteorologist, Ian Leonard, has the details for us tonight. Yeah, grab a blanket.
Yeah, for yourself and for your favorite plants outside. Now, look, last week we had the 80s culminating in a record high 91 degrees on Saturday. That was second summer sizzle. And then yesterday we had a high of 59. Today, a high of 66, both dancing around our average high of 63. A little cool this morning. We started at 46. A lot cool as we wake up tomorrow morning. Today was 50s and 60s on the map. But at this hour, look, we've already got pockets of 30s and below freezing from International Falls into Hibbing. And because of that, a freeze warning everywhere in magenta. Northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin. Yep, that's the freeze warning. Wake up temperatures in the 20s. The possibility here of a hard killing frost. So your perfect potatoes, your tremendous tomatoes, your magnificent mums, they all need some help. For the metro, this is a very thin dividing line between the coldest air and a frost advisory. This is still all about protecting your perfect plants outside with just a little light blanket so they can live to see another day. And by the way, another day or two, we're into summer number 3 with temperatures running almost 20 degrees above average as we head on into the weekend. And that, my friends, is something we should talk about coming up right here at 9:30.
All right, sounds good. And go outside and look at that supermoon, too.
Yeah.
Right? Fantastic. All right, thanks, Ian. As a reminder, you can stay up to date on changing temperatures in your area by downloading the Fox 9 weather app. It is free wherever you get your apps. On day 7 of this government shutdown tonight, we're looking into one of the key disagreements in our nation's capital that could ultimately affect some 23 million Americans.
Yeah, lawmakers are divided on whether or not to renew their expiring government subsidies on health insurance. Now, our Bab Santos is here now and hearing from political experts after taking a look at some of the new polling on this issue. Right, Babs?
Yeah, we're talking about subsidies for people who don't get insurance from their job or government program and instead buy it in marketplaces. Interestingly enough, although Republican lawmakers would like to see the subsidies go, there are actually large numbers of people benefiting from them in Republican-leaning states. The subsidies were a core provision of Obamacare, later strengthened by President Biden, but without congressional action, they expire this year. Right now, the Congressional Budget Office estimates at that point around 2 million more Americans would become uninsured by just next year. So clearly, it's a situation that could impact many. Today, Hamline University professor David Schultz shared some insights on where things stand.
It could drag out for a long period of time. We know the last government shutdown was 35 days. At this point, I don't see any forces bringing the two sides together. There seems to be very minimal negotiation. The Democrats and Republicans have staked out their position on a very, very important issue for them. And unless something dramatically changes, I don't see this getting resolved very quickly.
And as for polling on this issue, just this week, about 3/4 of adults surveyed by Kaiser Family Foundation researchers said Congress should extend the enhanced tax credits, including 9 in 10 Democrats, 8 in 10 independents, and 6 in 10 Republicans. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Babs. Well, nationwide, the government shutdown is impacting airports, and that's because air traffic controllers are working without pay right now, prompting many to call out sick or even to quit. Already, a ground delay is in effect at Nashville International Airport due to staffing shortages. Major cities like Chicago, Boston, and Philadelphia are bracing for the same. This ahead of a historically busy MEA weekend next week for Minnesotans. We reached out to MSP Airport to see how they are managing during this shutdown, and in a statement they said so far we are not aware of any major operational impacts, adding we'll share more about MEA travel early next week.
Well, new tonight, Minneapolis police are identifying new victims from the mass shooting at Annunciation Church. Officials say there are now 30 total victims. This is up from 23. So let's give you the breakdown here. We have 2 students, of course, Harper Moisky and Fletcher Merkel, who died in the August 27th attack. 29 people were injured from gunfire. 26 of them were children, 3 of them adults. Police say 1 victim has injuries that were not from gunfire. Authorities say some of the victims were brought to hospitals on their own, and many of the additional victims had wounds from shrapnel that were not discovered until later.
We're learning tonight that 1 of 3 people rescued from the Mississippi River near Monticello has died. Authorities say their fishing boat capsized around 10:30 this morning near the Xcel Energy plant in Monticello. 2 of the men made it safely to shore. A 3rd man was found in the water and, despite life-saving efforts, died at the scene.
Well, a Minneapolis man shot by his neighbor last fall is still waiting for accountability, and it comes after a 3rd doctor found John Sawchek incompetent to stand trial today. Now, prosecutors say that Sawchek shot Davis Maturi in his front yard after threatening him for months. Fox 9 sat down with Maturi 1 year later. Here's a portion of what he said during that interview.
My life is just altered in a way I never thought it would be, and I don't know if I'll ever be the same person again.
Now you can watch Vajuri's full interview on fox9.com. Another review hearing for Sawchuk is scheduled for April. In the meantime, he remains in jail. All right, still ahead, police say that he tried to help them solve two teenagers' murders in Arizona.
But then police realized he was their prime suspect. What we know about an accused murderer with Minnesota ties.
And later on, it was the deadliest single day for Jewish people since the Holocaust. How people all over the world are marking the 2-year anniversary of the October 7th attack, and where peace in the Middle East now stands.